Okay, hello everyone. I'm back from 2 months of holidaying. Not just holidays though, harvesting as well, getting those hazelnuts into sacks and storing them. So what we're going to do is just do a short recap. Let's take a look at the swing days first of all. Now, as you know, I already posted the swing days for September. And also, while I was away, I didn't post any of the daily videos onto YouTube. There's just no need to do that. But what you can do is go to Vimeo and just watch the videos there. You can see them live. I've just made them public today since they're all history anyway. Okay, but let's take a look at the how we panned out over the course of July and August. And as you can see, September is already up and running, so you can check it out. Now, one thing here is, when you're looking at swing days, this is 30th of June to the 4th of July, because I put the whole month, all right, as you can see, so whole of September is here. In July, I posted the whole of August. In June, I posted the whole of July, blah, blah, blah. So all of those are already there. So the important thing is, when you got a Wednesday and Friday, or when you have any Friday, also go and take a look at the next week, so you can see if there's something happening on Monday immediately. Why? Because Friday and Monday will probably be kind of like a level where there'll be a UE, or it's a place where it'll be like close, or if there was an impulse, there'll be a pullback. So always seeing the week ahead is useful. With day trading and intraday trading, or keeping a position open a few days depending on where we're targeted. But at the end of the day, that's how it is. So 30th of June to the 4th of July, that's a Wednesday and a Friday. So let's take a look. This is the 30th of July, so that's your Monday, and you see that was Friday from before. Market comes down, and then we've got, that's a swing day and it's a low, so we're looking to buy. Market buys into Wednesday, okay, and this is Thursday, Friday, and Friday, Monday. As you can see, this is Monday here. Market makes a dip into there, and that Monday is obviously that one there. All right, and then the next day for that is a Friday. Let's take a look at that. Friday, so that's your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So there should be an arrow up there. Friday. All right, so I don't trade on Fridays more often than not. Don't work on Mondays either more often than not, unless there's something juicy like yesterday. Okay, yesterday I thought I should go in. Why? Because I was looking at the situation, and I said to myself, well, if I'm going to read it, let's see what the best opportunities are for today. And Friday, the 29th, was a bit of a tricky day. Okay, in fact, I recall mentioning it was tricky, right? So August 29th, it's that one. Let's take a look. You can actually see all these videos. Did I say it's tricky? Did I say it for Thursday? Okay, so I thought I said tricky for Friday. Well, I did say if it turns, it can have a push as we get to 9 o'clock. Okay, so that's that 9 o'clock there. As you can see, just a bit of a push. It's not a big push. Okay, but that's a bit of a push there, and then the market going sideways, and then we've got a big push to the upside. Okay, so, and then we did have a target at the top there. Why? Because that was according to the PST level on the weekly, which it didn't make yet, which is 3,469, and that's 3,469 up there. So we'll see how that pans out. Okay, but the important thing here is, if I see something that's like worth going after, then I'll stick my head in there. And on Fridays, well, I did say 340 to 420. If it turns from here, expect sudden moves and target the closing for this one. I'm not sure why this isn't working, but it should. No? Okay, well, I didn't get any feedback from anyone, but let's see how that panned out. Anyway, so 340 to 420, and that's your 340 bar is actually here. That's 345. That's 340 right there. Okay, and then your 420 is here. Market, as you can see, is just chucking a UE. 420, where are you? That's the 420 there. So we're just basically going to the upside, which is what we were anticipating, and that was the first target. And as you can see, that's the later one there. Okay, so no loss of love. We can follow that through. And then this was from the previous day, if you recall, or was it from Wednesday? Must be from Wednesday. Yeah, there you go. All right, so this entry was from Wednesday. All right, and then this was like from Friday. Okay, going up into there. So basically, if you know the swing days, all you have to do is make sure you're following the next week as well. So if we take a look at 7 to 11 July, we've got Monday, Friday. Let's take a look at the daily. 7th of July. That's just 7th of July. And then what, the 11th. That's 9, 10, 11th of July, which is there. And then the market comes down. All right, so Friday, let's see, July 11, and then we've got July 11 is a Friday. Okay, so that was Friday. And then we've got on the next week, 14 to the 18th of July, we've got Wednesday or Thursday. So Wednesday or Thursday is going to be 16 or 17. Let's take a look at 16 or 17. This is 16, 17, there you go. All right, so on both occasions, actually this also made a high to sell. All right, so both of them are all good. Okay, so from both ends, as you can see, 16, 17, and then pushing up into that day on the next week, which is the 22nd of July. 22nd of July must be a Tuesday. And if I take a look at the 22nd of July, yep, it's a Tuesday and a Thursday. So we got that Tuesday and then Thursday. All right, so Thursday didn't, they didn't buy, but the important thing here is Tuesday it made a high. Thursday basically just pushing down. If you watch the videos as well, when I say we're in mid levels, like here for example was a tricky period, because we were like in a level where the market was always choppy at that price zone. So it got choppy here as well. It was choppy here before, it was choppy here before. All along here, as you can see, it's pretty choppy in this price zone. So this was a little tricky, but I was confident in buying because of the PST indicator. So if I know that I'm going to bounce from the lows here, all right, so then I've got a price level, and then I can kind of like push the market in there. And also the daily is always changing, as you know. All right, so every new day we're going to have a new setup on the PST. Let me get me, whoops, not you, let's put you back there. No, oh come on. Right, here we are. So I'm just going to get me out of there. All right, so every time on the daily as well, you can see the PST is moving. So we're okay to buy on PST support levels. You see how they're like pretty much on the line all the time. So we always have a price range. And if the price matches your timing, like here, we've got a price, it matches timing. We've got a price matches timing. So this zone is like good to buy. You can keep your stop under a swing, or you can keep it tight. Sometimes I just do a 1 bar stop, and sometimes it does get stopped out, but that's just how I trade. I like tight stop losses. And sometimes I'll put a smaller lot size, but keep the stop further down so we're not, inside any whipsaws. But in general, if you're just sticking close to the technical analysis and the PST indicators breakouts, for example, remember when we had this breakout here, on the red line here. It was like, okay, we've got a breakout, the pullback is good, and we had that precise price. Okay, so that's a Wednesday. So on Wednesday, let's check this out. Let's go into Wednesday. So on Wednesday, okay, so we had a price and a time. Okay, so it's nicely matching. You see how they're just buying from there. This is a PST zone, and then market just taking off. Okay, and then making a higher than high, closing higher, and that's already telling us, look, we've closed higher, we want to go up. So the next day you come back down again, then you know where to buy. It's again going to be on that PST level or pretty close to that PST level. As you can see, that's again trade hour, pretty close, trade hour close to the PST, and then once it's, you know, got direction in London, New York, it's just, you just follow it to the next hour. So the beautiful thing is you've got the trade hour, so you can kind of like follow it through, and if your direction is clear, all you're doing is going in the same direction all the time, and the swing day is actually giving you a good start to that journey. So once you know the swing day, you're kind of like, okay, you know, this is a low, we want to go long, we've closed the gap, okay, and buying on a swing day on any pullback, you know, like we're good to do that, okay, and that's how it panned out. The same thing is basically for everything we're trading, as long as you got your technical analysis pricing and your timing and your swing day, that's it. You know, swing day, trade hours, bingo. All right, all the time. So yesterday as well, for example, let's take a look at yesterday. Yesterday is going to be here, right? Friday, New York session. That's London, or that's pre-London actually. 9 to 9:15 a.m. Let's see, that's 9 to 9:15 here. You see the market's going up nicely, and then we've got 340, which is on that bar, right? 340 to 420, and that's your 420. So the market just chucking a UE going to the upside. I did say this day is a little tricky because it's like accumulating. You can see it's going sideways. So when the market's going sideways, it's a little tricky, obviously. But if you take a direction and your price matches the swing hour as well, the trade hour, then you've got a much bigger chance of making it successful, because you've got price and hour, and even if you get the direction wrong, you know, your stop losses are going to be quite tight, and so on. All right, so with SP 500 as well, let's see how that did on the daily. All right, this is how it panned out on the SP 500, as you can see. So you can see I've got like 5 swing days in a row, so it was like tops there. Market comes down, that's a swing day. Market dipped down, then we're going up, we're up again, good to sell. Market comes there, and then Friday, I think, was SP 500. Where are you? Yeah, Monday, Friday. So that's your Monday, all right, and that's your Friday there, and market went down. All right, also Thursday was, remember this week we had Dow Jones Wednesday or Thursday, and Nasdaq Thursday as well. So I did say look out for Thursday, because you know, indices go together, right? So following it through, that's the way it is. All right, so that's just nice and easy. That's your Monday, that's your Friday from last week. These are all swing days. Okay, this could also have been actually a follow-up, because we've got 2 days in a row. As you can see, this is actually 3 days in a row, top, so it would have been like this, 3 days in a row. We're at the low where they bought before. If you're using my swing days, you can just trade support and resistance, right? Don't rush into it. Let the market come to those levels where you determined as support resistance, or sometimes I just draw a green rectangle, so it's quite easy to do. You don't have to muck around. I call it cause and consequence, you know, the bar that's causing the breakout. Okay, also if there's a wick there's a long wick, I like to take it into account, and that's how it is. And this was the support line, so market dips back in there. It's a swing day, you want to be buying in that zone, and then all you have to do is look at the hours. Let's check out the hours for this. This was the 1st of August, and that's the, you see, that's a Friday and that's a Monday. Let's see, 1st of August, 1st of August, here is 1st of August. Alright, so 28th of July and the 1st of August. 1st of August is going to be a Friday. Alright, so on a Friday, these were the hours, and I've got 440 there. Remember, that's SP 500, it's an index, so 345 to 440, 345 and 440, so those are the hours that we need to look out for. Okay, if I make this, bring this down a little bit, and the swing days, SP 500, as you can see there, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so 3 days in a row. All right, they're like Wednesday, Thursday, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All right, and then the next week we got it on a Monday as well. So 345, let's go to Friday, and 440 on the 1st of August. So I go to 1st of August. Let's go to the 1st of August. I trade mainly gold, but the hours will work for anything. Okay, this is the 1st of August. That's your 445 bar there. Alright, so 5 o'clock makes a low. Do I have any other hour there? Let's take a look. It can push to 10 or closing. If we find direction, we can push to 10 to closing. So you see you've got direction, okay? Then your 10 o'clock is there, it's pushed into 10 o'clock, and that's your closing. So once you have direction, obviously you've got to be careful, right? So reading the comments is going to help you manage the trade, which is an important thing to do. And if you've got tips like this, then obviously that's like going to help you out, you know, same like on pretty much every day. So if we have a direction, it can continue to 10 o'clock or closing on a Thursday. All right, so that's your Friday. Let's see Thursday. See, look at Thursday, right? Once we have direction, it's gone all the way into closing. And what was the hour for Thursday? I've got 2:45 and 4:30, so 2:45 is there, and 4:30 is there. And you see that's the bar where the market, boom, pushed down, can't resist, just breaks down. Did I have a morning session there in London? 12:15, and I've said here as well, 8:15 market can get a push as we get to 12:15. So knowing these hours, that's your 12:15 is right there. Okay, so the market is just basically selling from that same zone and just pushing into closing. So knowing these little tips is important. Knowing the swing days in advance is important, as you can see, and then you can take position accordingly. All right, and then you won't risk much. Even if you get it wrong, your risk won't be too much because you've got hours and pricing. Okay, and with gold as well, I do gold, like I said, more often than not. If you just stick around, if you know the pricing, if you look at your PST indicator, or if you look at if you look at the video, right? If you check the video, you see the PST levels, and you're also capable of doing technical analysis. All of you should know technical analysis and money management. So once you're in that zone, it's a technical price plus we've got the trading hours, and you know the swing days, so you've got a direction bias as well. It's going to be a pretty much minimum risk trade. All right, so this is how it panned out, And you can check these all out. The videos in Vimeo, like I said, it's actually good exercise to go over them. And like I said, September is already here, and 14th to 18th of July, 7th to 11th of July. Let's take a look. Monday, Friday. I'm not going to take a look at all of them, but you can just take a screenshot, I guess, like swing days, you know, and swing hours and so on. So if we take a look at, let's say, Bitcoin, for example, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday, and a Sunday. All right, so that's from 7th to 11th of July. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. 7th of July, where are you? Seventh of July is there. All right, so that's 7th of July, which was a Monday, right? So we're looking for the 8th, 10, 11. This is your 8. Beautiful swing. All right, coming all the way into 10, 11. It's just pushing all the way up, 10, 11. Now this is a breakout, so you're just going to follow it through, just like the gold example for last week, right? 10, 11. And then we've got a Sunday. Oops. That's your Sunday, I guess. 14th of July. 14th of July is a Monday. 13th of July is a Sunday. That's your 13th of July there. Let's just bring this there. All right. And that's it. That's your Sunday. Did I have a Monday? Okay, so that Monday is the 14th of July. Let's take a look if Bitcoin had a Monday. No, it didn't have a Monday. It had Wednesday and a Friday on the following week. All right, so that's the 16th and the 18th. And that's going to be, let's keep that there, 16. Market makes a high, that's just 17, that's your 18, and that's a down day. So as you can see, those are swings from the high, and that's all pushing it down. If you take a look at Bitcoin on its own, let's go onto that profile, because I normally put the arrows when I'm doing the video, so it's all up and running. Let's take a look. Here we are. All right, so Bitcoin, as you can see, those are the swing days. Markets down, pushing up, selling off. I did say it was bearish in the video on Friday, and I said we could sell this off, and that's how it is. Friday, just selling off. Okay, and I did say this should break as well. This zone needs to break, needs to come lower. We should be coming all the way into that, at least into that 98,000 range there. Okay, so we've got room to go down, not a problem. Okay, and as you can see, swing days are just working fine if you know the tops and the bottoms. You can also wait for U-turns if you know the swing days, right? So once you have a breakout, you understand you're on a swing day, any pullback is a sell-off, and that's fine. Impulse, sideways, bang, breakdown. Okay, retracement, sell-off, retracement, sell-off, and you can see they're on swing days. Look at that, it's on a swing day. So you got the impulse wave, market pulls up, and then swing day, boom, sell-off again. All right, and so forth. So having these in advance with your technical analysis is a good thing. Also, as you can see here, you can see why the market is buying here, because that's the price of 32, and that is 107,396. So if I come to 107,396, 107,396, let's do this horizontal line, 107,396. I just want you to see how accurate these can be. There you go, spot on. Okay, this is yesterday and today. Market comes to that, it becomes a target. If you want to buy, it becomes a buy level. Okay, and then if you match that to a time, now it's Saturday today, so I don't do the hours for Saturday as well, but hopefully, you know, if we get an investor, I'm going to get the software done and we'll be able to check out every day for any asset, whatever you want to trade. So because I'm doing most stuff manually, it's a bit of a problem. So if you guys know any investors would like to investigate in a fintech that predicts the future, then you can actually go to this website. All right, adea.llc, and I've got, you know, all the stuff here, information here. Oh, also, I'd like to, I've said it before in a video, but this is my second company as well. It's not a second company, actually, it's under Adea. Adea is the company, and this is CMA Tech, which also belongs to Adea. Now this is using our bots for hedge funds, and we actually got a hedge fund on board, and you can find all the reports here as well. Okay, so they're all downloadable, you know, if you're interested, but this is just for crypto, right? Only for the crypto market, and this is for hedge funds, so it's not for personal, you know, personal traders. It's not a copy trade or anything. Everything I do is on a big scale. It's for like hedge funds and, you know, companies who want to do big, you know, big amounts of trading. Okay, but with the timing, obviously, if we get a software, anybody can trade that one with the swing days and the hours. So as you can see, that's how it is. You can target yourself as well, and on the weekly as well, we've got a breakout. You see how the market came into the dotted blue lines? That's your target zone. So everything has a price on this chart. So that's 51.71. They're 107.742. All right, so that's 107.742. That would have also been done as well. That would have been a target for us, 107.742. So on the weekly, that would have been our first target, which is pretty much there, and it's done it on a Friday on the weekly chart, nice and easy. All right, so if you know the direction, because we understand we've got a breakout as well, so we want to keep pushing for the sell, and you got your price levels, you can manage your trade, you can target much better. So we're not just trading blindly with, you know, timing and swing days. You definitely want to have a target price. You want to have an entry price. You want to have, you know, your stop level and your decent good risk and return. And this is good for anything you want to trade. Because I'm just looking at gold, euro, dollar, SP 500, Dow Jones, Nasdaq, Bitcoin, because I'm doing most stuff manually, like I said, because we don't have a software yet. Then what you got to do is, just like I always said, for any asset, you take the hours, you take the swing days for that asset, and you kind of like integrate it into your technical analysis. And this is Nasdaq as well. We had a Thursday swing day for that one, if you recall. All right, Nasdaq Monday, Thursday. All right, so here we've got, that's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, market makes a high, and then bang, that's a swing day. And that's it. Our favorite levels, 37.5 and 25. I like these levels. If it matches a swing day, it's good to go. Then all you got to do is check out your hours. If you're trading the New York session, that's your 4:15, so that's your 4:20 there. All right, so Friday, 3:40, 4:20. That's your 3:40. Where are you? 3:40 is right there. Boom. All right, so it's pretty much, you know, standard procedure. And if you're trading London as well, you would have had that level as well. In London, we had 9:15. Like I said, that's a pre-trade session in London. 9:15. That's your 9 o'clock. That's your 9:15, and that's London taking a stance. New York following through after filling in the gaps at the trading hours. So it's all like technical analysis. You bring it together, you got the day, you got the hour, you got the price. Have a nice weekend.